Hello, my name is Jay Huang. I'm a fourth-year pathology resident in the United States. I go over cases almost on the daily from head to toe across different organ systems. So if you're interested, consider giving a like and subscribe. Without further ado, thank you so much to pathlibrary for these online cases. They've been very helpful. This is a 61-year-old male with a gastric polyp. So what I see here from low power is some neovascularization, some hyperchromicity of the foveolar cells, lamina propria that is chock full of some cells, probably inflammatory cells. I don't see a stark contrast of the hyperchromatic foveolar cells. If there is a stark contrast where you see one that is banal, it has basal cells that are regularly oriented, and another one that's hyperchromatic and has mites, if you see that stark contrast, I would be concerned about gastric dysplasia. You typically have a higher threshold for calling gastric dysplasia if you don't see that stark contrast, because reactive atypia of foveolar cells can look very atypical and concerning if it were in another part of an organ in the body. So for instance, what I mean by this is you see some hyperchromasia, you see some enlargement of the cells, you see nucleoli, you see mitotic figures, right? But what else do you see? You see in the lamina propria there are mixed inflammation, including acute inflammation. And that's for sure going to cause reactive changes, right? Your foveolar cells aren't happy. So that's important to know that hyperplastic polyps, you'll see inflammatory cells because it arises in a background of gastritis, and that can be due to H. pylori, that can be due to AMAG, and other types of gastritis. And so when you do see a hyperplastic polyp, especially if it's greater than 1 centimeter, you want to rule out dysplasia. You can have a hyperplastic polyp that does have dysplasia, right? And also, the area of the stomach where the hyperplastic polyp develops is very reactive, right? It's undergoing chronic irritation. So you just always want to put in the back of your head that, I want to rule out dysplasia. Okay, so, this kind of reminds me of like granulation type tissue. You see the acute inflammation, so neovascularization. You can also have like pseudo goblet cells here, and you can appreciate like how elongated it looks, but this is due to the inflammation. So this is a hyperplastic polyp. It's the second most common polyp. The number one most common polyp is fundus gland polyp, and what makes it different is fundus gland polyps don't typically arise from a setting of chronic inflammation. Okay. And that is it for today's case. I will see y'all next time.